Today's story is about a beautiful girl whose charm drives every boy in school crazy. And what they end up doing because of it is what we'll see in today's story. It begins with a stunning girl named Ramona, the most attractive and popular student at her school. Every boy there dreams of being in a relationship with her. Among them is a boy named Andy who one day decides to propose to Ramona at a party. However, he's too nervous to talk to her. One of his friends, Sylvie, encourages him and gives him the confidence to approach Ramona. After giving Andy a few drinks, Sylvie tells him to go and dance with her. Andy gathers his courage and begins dancing with Ramona, but in a very awkward way. Watching him dance like that, Ramona finds him a little innocent, and so she joins in and starts dancing with him, too. In the middle of it, Andy needs to use the restroom. When he gets there, the condition of the toilet is terrible, so he comes out without doing anything. As he exits, he sees Ramona standing at the door. Andy worries that Ramona might think he made the mess, so he quickly takes her away from the area. Then another boy runs into the bathroom, sees the mess, and calls his friends. They all start mocking Andy. Later, Andy returns home with his mom. The next evening, Andy attends another party where Ramona is also present. At the party, Ramona's friends tell her that Andy really likes her and that he has never been in a relationship before. Hearing this, Ramona boldly tells her friends that she'll spend the night with Andy to prove a point. Ramona then approaches Andy, dances with him, and later takes him to a private room. She tells Andy, "I know you've been waiting for this moment for a long time," and removes her dress, but Andy doesn't feel any attraction. Instead, he tells her, "I don't want to do this. Before anything happens, I want to spend quality time with you. I want to love you." Ramona becomes furious after being rejected and leaves the room in anger. The next morning, Andy shares everything with his friends. They become upset and scold him for missing the opportunity. They advise him to be more clever and warn him that before proposing to Ramona again, he needs to stop Sylvie because Sylvie is also interested in her now. The next day at school, Andy confronts Sylvie and tells him to stay away from Ramona. Sylvie refuses, which leads to an argument. In the middle of it, Ramona arrives and, seeking revenge, kisses Sylvie in front of Andy and accepts Sylvie's proposal. In the next scene, Andy goes on a summer vacation with his mom. They check into a hotel where Andy notices a beautiful girl named Anemona, the hotel receptionist. He immediately likes her. When he talks to the bartender warns him to stay away from Anemona, claiming she makes adult videos. Despite the warning, Andy approaches Anemona and starts a conversation in his usual awkward way. Anemona finds his behavior charming and invites him to meet her at the beach that night. At the beach, Andy asks her about what the bartender said. Anemona explains that she rejected the bartender's proposal, so now he spreads rumors about her. The two continue getting to know each other. Anemona eventually tells Andy, "I have a boyfriend, but you seemed innocent, so I just wanted to hang out. I will kiss you, but first you have to sing a song for me." Andy then sings and dances, and afterward, they kiss. What happens next is that Anemona takes Andy to her room, and a passionate night follows that lasts till morning. The next day, Andy's mom tells him they need to leave. But before leaving, Andy realizes Anemona isn't around. He starts searching for her. Eventually, he finds her. She tells him someone saw him leaving her room, which is against hotel policy, and now she's lost her job. She adds that she won't stay in this town anymore. Andy asks her not to leave, but she refuses and says, "I'm leaving with my boyfriend." After this, both of them go their separate ways. On the way, Ramona messages Andy and says that Sylvie has hit her. She pleads, "Where are you? Please come quickly." When Andy arrives, he sees injury marks on Ramona's face, clearly caused by Sylvie. Andy then tells Ramona about his girlfriend, Anemona, but Ramona doesn't believe him since Andy doesn't even have Anemona's phone number. She mocks him, making fun of his claim. This angers Andy, and he says, "You're a mean-spirited girl. I don't need you." Saying this, he walks away. In the next scene, we see Andy looking very upset. Seeing him this way, Andy's mom suggests that he talk to Anemona, but since he doesn't have her number, he tries searching for her on social media, yet he can't find her there either. Later, Andy manages to get Anemona's number from the hotel. He calls her and says, "I'm coming to your city to meet you. Will you come?" She agrees. That night, they meet at a club and start dancing. As they get closer, both of them go to the club's washroom. And once again, a storm brews between them. But in the middle of it, a club bouncer finds them and throws them out. He even beats up Andy. Afterward, Anemona takes care of Andy. When Andy asks her, "When will you tell your boyfriend about us?" Anemona replies, "My boyfriend is very rich. I can't talk to him about this because I want to keep living with him." Hearing this breaks Andy's heart. And he leaves. The next day at school, Andy is sitting with his friend when suddenly everyone starts staring and mocking him. It turns out that after being rejected, Ramona spread a rumor that Andy is gay. This deeply upsets Andy. He tries to explain the truth to everyone, but no one believes him. Andy becomes very sad. Andy had a friend in school, a heavy-set girl whom everyone called Carla. She was the one Andy always shared his feelings with. When he talks to her about the rumor, they grow closer during the conversation. And this time, not a storm, but an earthquake strikes. The next morning, one of Andy's friends comes to him and says, "I'll have to keep my distance. Because of being seen with you, all the girls think I'm gay, too." Hearing this, Andy decides to take revenge on Ramona. He transforms his appearance completely, becoming very handsome. After seeing his new look, all the girls in the school fall for him. Some even faint in excitement. Then Andy walks up to Ramona and says, "You still look like the most beautiful and charming girl in the world to me." Ramona blushes and starts complimenting Andy in return. After that, Andy asks Ramona to meet him later. And she agrees. The two share a kiss, and from that point on their closeness at school begins to grow. Next, Andy goes to his female friend Carla and tells her we should forget about the earthquake and just stay friends. Carla agrees, though there's a hint of disappointment in her eyes. Andy then thinks about getting back at Sylvie for everything. So, with help from his friend, he writes a fake love letter to Carla in Sylvie's name and includes a gift. The letter says, "Carla, will you be my girlfriend?" Seeing this, Carla becomes overjoyed. It's Valentine's Day. And feeling happy and hopeful, she walks up to Sylvia and says, "Yes, Sylvie. From today we're in a relationship. I'm your girlfriend." Sylvie, shocked and disgusted, replies, "What nonsense are you talking about? What idiot would make a hippo like you his girlfriend?" Hearing this, Carla is furious. She starts beating Sylvie in front of everyone. With one final whip, she knocks him down. Watching all this, the other students laugh and mock Sylvie. Meanwhile, Andy asks Ramona out on a date that night. In the next scene, we see Ramona getting dressed up beautifully and coming to meet Andy. He takes her to a lighthouse and opens his heart. Andy says, "Whenever I'm upset, I come here alone to relax, but today you're with me. You're the most beautiful girl in this small world of mine, and I love you deeply." Ramona is touched. She says, "No one has ever cared for me or loved me the way you do." Then they kiss. Andy invites Ramona to his house, but she hesitates, thinking it's just another excuse to get physical. She feels hurt, assuming Andy is just like the others. But Andy reassures her, "I'm not like the others, and you know that very well." Eventually, they go to Andy's home. There, Andy starts gently provoking her in a playful way, and Ramona finds herself unable to resist. Her emotions and desires take over, and she gives in. But just as things get intense, Andy stops and says, "I told you I'm not like other boys. I don't want to do this." Hearing that, Ramona becomes angry and in frustration brings both a storm and an earthquake crashing down on Andy. After that, everything seems to settle between them. Their bond grows stronger and they begin spending more time together happily. But one day, while Andy is with Ramona, he suddenly receives a message from Anemona. She writes, "Meet me in an hour with my favorite flowers. I'm coming to your city." Andy panics. He makes up an excuse to leave Ramona and rushes off to meet Anemona. When they reunite, they kiss and Andy brings her back to his house. When they come home, Anemona bonds well with Andy's mom. But in the meantime, Ramona calls Andy and gets angry with him for not coming to meet her. She says, "Tonight, you have to bring flowers for me." Andy replies, "I have to go out with one of my cousins, so I won't be able to come." But Ramona keeps insisting and eventually Andy cuts the call. Now Andy feels confused. He doesn't know whether to stay with Ramona or Anemona. He talks to his mom about it, but she doesn't give him any clear advice. So, Andy makes a decision. He chooses to break up with Ramona and stay with Anemona. That night, while Anemona is in her room, Andy visits her, and once again, a storm brews between them. But at midnight, Ramona calls Andy and asks him to come outside. When they meet, she kisses him. Andy says, "It's true that I've liked you for a long time, but now I can't be in a relationship with you because I don't feel the happiness with you that I truly want." Ramona tries to convince him, but Andy doesn't change his mind. He leaves her outside and goes back into his house. The story now moves forward, showing a scene from a few years later. Andy has written a book and become rich and famous. His relationship with Anemona is also going well. One day, Andy and Ramona meet again in a club after a long time. They ask about each other's lives. Ramona says, "I'm engaged now. My fiancé is also very rich." After talking for a while, they leave the club together in Ramona's car. At first, she praises her fiancé, but then she admits, "My relationship with him isn't going well. I haven't found anyone who loves me like you did. I should have been with you." But Andy is busy messaging Anemona. Hearing Ramona's words makes him feel sorry for her. Then Ramona starts provoking Andy, and once again, a storm erupts inside the car. Later, when Andy returns home, Anemona is nowhere to be found. Just then, a message from Ramona appears. It reads, "What did you think? That I'd let you be happy? Never." That's when Andy realizes, Ramona must have told everything to Anemona. Andy hears his own voice in his head and thinks, if only I hadn't gone to meet Ramona, I'd still be happy with Anemona today. Then the story jumps back to the past, to the moment when Andy was nervous at the party, scared to talk to Ramona, and Sylvie came to give him confidence. But this time, instead of listening, Andy punches Sylvie hard, signifying that from now on, he will stay only with Anemona. And with that punch, the story ends.